the suspects kind of set on either sticking with the majors, kind of north-south right now, and so we'll have to see what happens as this continues. And this is right where the 210 and 134 meet, and kind of the 210 does that jaunt to the north, if you're familiar with the area. So it can get very complex right here with the interchange and the different roads and stuff. So the CHP airship and those ground units kind of have to keep a keen eye on this vehicle. Luckily, it's kind of sticking with the flow of traffic, now stopping at lights and stuff. Hopefully the suspect just ends up kind of getting bored with the situation, or getting tired of it and gives up, but it doesn't seem like that's the case right now. It looks like possibly, I'll kind of push in with our camera, it looks like the suspect just sitting there driving forward, and might be kind of on their phone or something with their hands. One hand's not even on the wheel. Sounds like the Pasadena Police Department's going to be taking over now. You see CHP kind of setting off to the side, those other cruisers pulling up to take over this pursuit. Another unit kind of sitting there ready to assist, and it looks like we're going to be turning to the east now. And this is that sort of feeder road that can take the suspect onto the freeway if they kind of take a jaunt to the left. But right now, speeding up now, see Pasadena taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach, coming up on this vehicle now. And we'll see what they decide to do as this continues to the east. And it looks like the Pasadena unit's going to try to do that pit maneuver. Not a success. A little too far up on that bumper, and then with the higher speeds, it's a little tougher to get that large van to turn around. But a strange, or not even strange, just a different set of tactics by the Pasadena Police Department coming in, saying, hey, you guys weren't able to end this, we're going to try our tactics. And unfortunately, it was a good effort, but not but didn't end up working as that cruiser came up to do that pit maneuver. We'll see what happens here. Police officer coming up again, and it looks like they were considering to do that pit, but with the traffic here, it's not safe to do it, especially on the freeway. Suspect now going down that right-hand shoulder, very dangerous as people pull into that to service when they have a service issue with their vehicle or an accident. Not a place that you expect a vehicle to pass you on. I know I just had a car pass me last night in that right-hand shoulder, and it confused me quite a bit. I thought I was in the wrong lane, but the suspect vehicle just holding on to that right-hand shoulder. The vehicle's in the area, not knowing what's going on. As this now approaches, it looks like CHP airship's the only one over this right now. They're trying to get the Altadena ground units from the CHP office to take over this pursuit now as we continue to the east on the 210. Now, west of Hill, we're going to be crossing under Hill Street here shortly, going about 55 miles an hour, about medium traffic right now, holding that number 5 lane, kind of hugging that shoulder as well. We'll see what happens, but now without those ground units behind the suspect, it seems like they're going to slow down and drive a little more easily, kind of going with that flow of traffic, slowing down quite a bit against the flow of traffic, which is also a danger, especially drivers not expecting a slow vehicle, just like that black sedan pulling up behind him right now. So very erratic movements by this suspect. Seemed like the suspect was a little spooked by that Pasadena unit coming in, trying to do that pit maneuver on this van, and it kind of sped off there. You see CHP going through the shot now, but this is what we're going to be watching as this continues, as the CHP attempts to get their units back involved in this pursuit, and see what steps they take next to bring this to a successful and peaceful, hopefully safe end here on the 210 going eastbound. Glenn and Sandra. Yeah, that's definitely what it seemed like. What we saw was the Pasadena kind of take them onto the freeway. I heard it on the scanner that the Pasadena was kind of trying to decide between themselves if they were going to continue on with the pursuit or let the CHP take it back over. And once it gets back on the freeway, the best option is to give it to the CHP, as they know that area. That is their territory, so that they're going to follow it best, to be able to end that pursuit best as it continues, just like you see there, stopping that whole freeway to prevent any further issues with traffic as this pursuit continues eastbound on the 210, continuing to the east. Up ahead, it's slowing, but that's due to this right here. They did a traffic break, and those can be really frustrating for those drivers on the freeway, but they are done for the safety of the public, and in this case, to keep those drivers away from an erratic driver, someone involved in a pursuit, a stolen vehicle. Because the last thing we want to see is this vehicle to crash or to stop in the freeway, suspect hop out, and then go to try to take another vehicle, or for that vehicle to crash into another vehicle. So the CHP, even though it's an inconvenience, is going to stop that freeway just due to the dangerous situation of this pursuit, so that they can keep the public safe as much as possible as this continues to the east, approaching Allen right now, just holding that right shoulder, only about 10 miles an hour. So who knows if this is going to end with the suspect running out of gas, or just giving up successfully, or if maybe a spike strip's an option. But right now, it looks like at this point, it's going to mess up the drive for at least a half a mile right now back to the west, as people try to make their way eastbound. They're restricted now to about a 10-mile-an-hour speed here on the 210 when people are just trying to get home or to their next destination after a long day of work. So the freeway is clearing up quite a bit ahead. It's free all the way down the bend, probably 2 miles ahead of this, as the pursuit slows down that traffic to the west as it makes its way eastbound. Still only going about 10 miles an hour, kind of weaving in and out of that number 5 into that right-hand shoulder lane. And so that just makes you wonder what's going on inside that van. Is the suspect fully focused on driving? It doesn't seem like it. They keep sticking their hands out the window. So we will continue to keep an eye on this as it continues here up in the Pasadena area. I'm going to send it back down to you in the studio. Okay. That's right. And when the speeds kind of slow down like this, slows down the whole situation for those officers involved, for those supervisors, those dispatchers, and they're able to work a little bit more efficiently to find a better solution. And at these lower speeds, it might be able for them to set up other measures to bring this to a successful end, like a spike strip or something ahead. We'll have to see what happens. We haven't heard anything on that at this point, but still just kind of limping along here. And like you said, Glenn and Sandra, we don't know the condition of the vehicle. Maybe that impact from that Pasadena unit did something to that rear passenger side, maybe messed with the drivetrain or messed with that tire. We don't know from this side, and it's a little hard for us to swing around right now, but we'll see what happens as it continues on here. We're coming up on an off-ramp, and the suspect vehicle is just kind of holding that right shoulder, so we might be getting off. And if this one kind of swings around like I think it does, we might get a glimpse of that passenger side, and it looks like the CHP is getting ready to hand off to another office, and that's what the CHP ends up doing with these pursuits, and how they are so efficient with them. They kind of leapfrog from office to office as it makes its way through the Southland, starting when we heard it in the Central Division of CHP, then handing off to the Altadena units of CHP up here in the Pasadena area, and now they're going to be handing off to the Baldwin Park units of CHP who know this area well. And it looks like right now the suspect is kind of in that turn pocket to get off the freeway on Sierra Madre. We'll have to see what happens here. It might be veering still onto the 210, but they are asking their lead unit in this pursuit to kind of back off, and you kind of see that lead unit doing that right now because they don't know what the suspect has in the vehicle, and the suspect keeps reaching around, doing different things. So for the safety of the officers, they're going to ask them to take a little farther back approach to this, especially at those speeds with that air unit overhead. They don't need to be right on the suspect's rear of the vehicle to follow this. And it looks like we're still continuing to the east up onto that kind of gore point there. We'll see what happens. 5 miles an hour, and it looks like the suspect is content to kind of hug that shoulder up into the bushes now and into a street sign. Wow. And into the bushes. This might be coming to an end. It might have been just coasting here. And we'll see into another street sign. Wow. And it is a bigger utility vehicle here, so we're going to see, wow, that's what that that divider stop right there is meant to do, is stop vehicles when they collide with them. So this vehicle is now pretty much stuck on that sidewall kind of bumper you see there. So now comes another dangerous part of the pursuit, and that's the termination and that standoff. The CHP isn't really keen on what's inside that vehicle or what that suspect's doing, just due to the nature of this van. It's hard to see in, and so they're going to hold a little bit wider of a stance, especially with the erratic driving of this suspect. But they're just hoping that that suspect will come out peacefully and give up. But at this point, with how long this pursuit's been going, it doesn't seem the case. But it looks like driver door is open. We're going to hold a little bit wider of a shot until we can kind of make sure that this scene is safe. We don't want to see anything on air that may be too graphic or gruesome. So just holding a little bit wider here. You see CHP in a position of advantage of cover right now with their guns drawn, calling the suspect out of the vehicle. Suspect is coming out, going to prone out on the ground, hands behind their back. And we're not sure if that's exactly what those CHP officers wanted them to do. Typically, they want to make sure the suspect doesn't have any weapons on them by lifting up their waistband, then often have that suspect walk back to them. But this suspect just said, I'm done, I'm giving up, I'm going to lay right here. You can come up and arrest me. So we'll just have to see what they do. But time is on those officers' side. The freeway is shut down. That off-ramp is shut down here at Sierra Madre. And so there's no danger extremely close for the public, but it's just going to be a matter of time till the CHP sets up their approach team to walk up and arrest the suspect. And then the other thing that they have to do before they can deem this safe is clear that van, and that's very hard to do with the nature of the window situation on that van. All they can do is see in that front driver door. They can't see what's in the back of that van, so they're going to have to approach that very carefully to make sure and it looks like they might try to approach that van and then arrest the suspect at the same time, just due to the nature of the situation. They want to make sure that that van is clear, and then no one's going to be in danger arresting that suspect, especially how they just kind of came out and laid down right next to the van. But you see one officer going up to clear the van from the side, another one approaching up near it, and then that officer with the rifle going to go in and take that suspect into custody. That officer up at the van looking in the driver cabin doesn't seem to have any worry there. So at this point, it looks like the suspect is in custody. They're going to check the back of that van, and once they do and deem it safe, they'll be able to fully clear this, deem this a safe situation. Officers holstering their guns, and it looks like this is a code for a safe scene. They're going to be able to clear that freeway very quickly here, and a successful end to this pursuit of a stolen van starting in Torrance, making it all the way here north to the 210 freeway here in Pasadena. I'll send it back down to you in the studio.